Okay, I think we are live. Let's just wait for us to be sure that we're live. I don't know, are we live? I think we're live. Let me just see. By the way, I'm before I get started on this. So, what are we doing today? We're basically discussing a tweet by Yasmine Mohammed. She talked about Islamic reform, Muslim reformers, or Islamic reform, and she discussed. Sorry, I'm doing many things at the same time. She discussed her views on it, and I want to just review that. But I just want to see if the live chat, if we're live and everything, because I can't tell. If anybody joins, please let me know. Okay, I'm gonna check on my phone. Yeah, everything seems to be good. Okay, Pinhead, Larry, Coffer is in the and Coffer is in the live chat. Great. So before I get started on this, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing these live streams without any announcement, without telling people when we're doing this, because if that helps me do them more often, because it's just less of a barrier for me to do these. So given that I'm not announcing them, the only way for you guys to know that I'm live, so you could be part of the discussion. See, if you guys join the YouTube live chat, your comments are going to show up right above me. See, so if you guys want to be part of the discussion, I'm going to read your comments as well. Just make sure you're not just subscribed to the Atheist Republic YouTube channel, but you also have that bell thingy. Where is that? I think it's right here. Right? Hit that bell thingy and then select all. Okay, when you hit the bell icon, it gives you multiple options. How many of the things you want to, which videos of Atheist Republic you want to be notified of. So make sure you select all of them. Okay, that's the only way for you guys to be part of the discussion above here, which I will be reading as well. Anyways, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Make sure you guys comment and stuff, so I can have something to read. Okay, so let's see. Yasmin Mohammed is tweeted. When was this? I haven't been on Twitter that much, so I noticed this a little bit late, but I'm glad I noticed it. Sometimes I miss some very important things in my mentions because there's just too many notifications and I can't keep track. But I'm glad I saw this one because I was tagged in it, and it's an important discussion to have. And yeah, and it's Yasmin Mohammed. You do not ignore Yasmin Mohammed. VJ is saying Greece and France becoming Islamic country in a few days. What are you guys? Keep the discussion in the live chat on what we're talking about. We're talking about Islamic reform. If you have any questions about Islamic reform or Muslim reformists, mention that in the live chat. Okay, so what did Yasmin tweet? Thread on Muslim reformers. Okay, so so just to clarify something from right at the beginning, there's a huge difference between the topic of Islamic reform and Muslim reformers. Okay, those are completely different topics, and a lot of times when I criticize one of them, a lot of people tell me, for example, why are you against the other one, even though I wasn't talking about the other one, right? So a lot of times I'm against Islamic reform, and I'm not against Muslim reformers. And a lot of people ask me, like, Armin, why are you so against Muslim reformers? I'm like, I'm not against Muslim reformers. I'm against Islamic reform. And maybe I think reading this might clarify the difference for a lot of people. Okay, thread on Muslim reformers. I get asked about this so often. I'm going to make a thread to share going forward. There is a general disagreement with people like me and Ali Rizwi believing it is possible, and people like Armin Navabi and Sarah Haider who believe it is not. I think, I don't know, Ali, maybe Ali could clarify this, but I think I've managed to change Ali's views on this. I'm going to claim credit even because he's not here to tell me otherwise. And I don't know if I have or not. I think I had some influence on Sarah Haider as well. Okay? So if not, maybe I'm just giving myself too much credit, but I think I had some influence because when this was becoming a hot topic, me and Sarah were on a tour or something. I don't know. I just want to give myself credit. You can't stop me, okay? I think I had some influence on Sarah as well. So who's in the live chat? Susanna is here and Mars is here as well. Awesome. Great. Guys, make sure if you have any questions or comments, mention in the live chat. I'm going to be reading them. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Yasmine mentions, we won't know who wins this debate as it won't be settled in our lifetimes. But I see enough evidence to give me hope. I think Muslims can reach the point that most Christians and Jews are at. This is having a tenuous connection to the religion without practicing it literally. Okay. Let's clarify. I might say something right now that she clarifies later. So if she does clarify later, I'm going to backtrack. Okay, but I'm just going to respond to this for now. Okay. I see a lot, and also in the Muslim community, that gives me a lot of hope as well. Okay, but I think what the disagreement with I might have with Yasmine, I'm just going to assume what she's saying, because right now she's talking about Muslim reformers here, and now down here she's saying it's giving her hope. So I'm assuming that the hope she's seeing, she's giving credit to Muslim reformers for it. But it has nothing to do with Muslim reformers. I see a lot of progress in the Muslim community as well. And I see Muslim reformers as people who come out after and claim the credit for the change. But it doesn't work like that. The people who are challenging religion, they are not only responsible for people who abandon religion completely outright, but they're also responsible for the people who are taking religion less seriously. Okay? They're not the only people responsible for it. Some other reasons why people are taking religion less seriously is because there's a lot more other things to care about, especially when it's not just activism, but it's also economic progress sometimes helps people focus on this world rather than the next one. Okay? So, which doesn't even exist. But it's not just activists, but if any form of activism is responsible for people taking their religion less seriously, it hasn't been the reformers. Reformers are the people that come after and see people becoming more pragmatic and taking and living lives that are more, secular, more scientific, more liberal, and be like, oh yeah, this is in accordance with our scripture. Let's just look at the scripture in a different way so that they could justify this new lifestyle. But the lifestyle changed before they came and take credit. It was true with Judaism, it was true with Christianity, and it's going to be true with Islam as well. And I'm not going to go into detail we could have that discussion in detail later, but right now I just want to respond to this tweet. Let me see what other people are saying in the live chat. Okay, tag Atheist Republic if I have to read something, okay? Let me just actually clarify this just a little bit, how this works, okay? So when people might think that it's unfair, like, no, Armin, look at all these peaceful Muslims or all these secular Christians or all these gay-loving Jews. So how could you not say Islam gets reformed or Christianity or Judaism gets reformed and stuff? Okay, so let's focus on the Muslim community right now, right? So when you're talking about reformers or fundamentalists or ex-Muslims, we're talking about a very fringe group of people that are trying to influence the majority of the community, okay? The majority of Muslims, just like the majority of other religious groups, do not really occupy most of their time thinking about religion, okay? So the majority of Muslims are either nominal Muslims or minimalist Muslims. And yeah, I made up these terms, okay? So minimalist Muslim, nominal Muslims I didn't make up. That was already there, okay? So you have nominal Muslims and minimalist Muslims. What is a nominal Muslim? A nominal Muslim to me is somebody that just has the label Muslim, but you can't really show anything in their lives that makes them a Muslim, right? Like, you can't point to, they don't pray, they don't fast, they don't go to a mosque. Their lifestyle is pretty much the same as somebody that is not a Muslim. Okay, to me that's a nominal Muslim. A minimalist Muslim is somebody that does all the things that the minimal things that a Muslim is supposed to do, like they pray 5 times a day or 3 times a day, because Shias cheat, they group them together. So 5 times a day, and they fast during Ramadan. And that's pretty much it. Like maybe some of them go to mosque on Fridays, but they don't, like, it's just they're going through the motions. But most of the time they're not thinking about religion. And in fact, for a lot of them, they're not even thinking about religion, about God, when they're praying. Okay, like even when they're praying, they're thinking like, okay, right after I'm done with this, I have to pick up the kids, or I have to do this. It's just like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you pray. You go to the mosque, when there's a wedding or something, and I don't know, like you fast during Ramadan, you just do these things. I'm a Muslim, I do these things. But most of the time you're thinking about your career, you're thinking about your, the party that you're supposed to go next week. Well, not next week, since you have under quarantine, maybe 2 months from now. But all of that, you're thinking about the furniture. Why doesn't it not match the curtains? It's bothering you that the colors mismatch. You're thinking about these things, okay? You're not thinking about God. You're not thinking about akhirat. You're not thinking about sawab or guna or whatever. You're not thinking about those things. So those are minimalist Muslims, right? And these two groups of Muslims are the vast majority of Muslims, okay? If these Muslims are not living like a fundamentalist, it's not because they're reformers. Okay, you cannot be like, oh look, these Muslims are reformers. They want democracy. They're living like secularists. Oh, they're peaceful. Look, Islamic reform have a chance. A Muslim reformer is somebody that is taking Islam very seriously, and it's going up and reading the Quran, and we're like, okay, this verse that is telling me that I need to beat my wife, I really don't want this to mean that I need to beat my wife. What can I do to make it mean something else? Okay? What can I do for this verse to mean? This is really horrible, okay? This verse that is saying, go kill the unbelievers. Okay, yeah, we need to, like, okay, this. Somebody tell me that this means something else. Or actually, no, I'm a reformer. I'm going to actively come up with an understanding of why this means something else, okay? So you have a very fringe group of people that are the influencers, and they're taking Islam very seriously. And they're trying to influence the Muslim population. You have the reformers, and you have the fundamentalists, and you have the critics of Islam. Ex-Muslims or people that were never Muslim, or they're critics, like they're saying Islam is bad, right? These are trying to shape the opinions of all these group of people that sometimes they listen to this and take it seriously, but most of the time they have other things to do. Okay. So you cannot group. So if this is what reformers do to make it seem like their numbers are so high, because they look at all these nominal Muslims and all these minimalist Muslims and like, oh, they belong to us because they're peaceful and they're kind and they're not blowing up shit. So they belong to the reformers camp. No, they're not reformers. Okay, if people are not taking Islam seriously, okay, and they're good people because they have secular, peaceful lives because they're not taking Islam seriously, that does not mean, that shows how bad Islam is, that the farther away you are from it, the better life you have. Okay, that shows this is they are abandoning Islam, not outright, but it's either ignoring or abandoning Islam somewhat that makes them such good people. Okay, it's not actively trying to change the meaning of the Hadith or Quran or like reinterpreting everything. Okay, and some of these people, when the reformers reach out to them and they manage to get them, which is very little. Okay, look at the critics of Islam and the ex-Muslims. Look at their numbers compared to the reformers. Okay. Not only ex-Muslims are growing exponentially, even the people that are taking Islam less seriously, it's because of the critics of Islam, right? Because that little bit of a doubt that you introduce to the Muslim, that it was a fundamentalist, makes them take Islam less seriously, even though they're still Muslim, okay? If you look at, for example, the history, a lot of reformers keep wanting to point out to the history of Christianity and give reformers credit to. Okay, yeah, let's look at the history of Christianity. Let's look at what the reformers managed to do with Christianity. Let's look at what Martin Luther's movement did. Did it reduce less fundamentalists? No, it was more fundamentalists of a different type, okay? What does Martin Luther want? It was like, oh, let's take the Bible more seriously and take it word by word rather than going through these people and telling us what it means. Let's live according to the Bible, word by word. Do you want to do that with Islam? The Protestants were more anti-woman. They were more anti-Jewish. They were witch burners. Those were the Protestants, right? They were as fundamentalist as the Catholics. They didn't make Christianity any better, okay? But look at if you go through their history, who actually managed to make eventually Christians take a chill pill? It was the Enlightenment movement. It was the critics of Christianity, okay? So the critics of Christianity, the people that attack Christianity, they produced a lot of ex-Christians, but they also produced a lot of Christians that remained Christians, but took Christianity less seriously. It wasn't a full abandonment of Christianity, but a somewhat abandonment of Christianity, or ignoring Christianity, even though they kept the label. It was because of the people who attacked Christianity, not because of the people that said like, oh, let's change the meaning. Okay, and here's the interesting thing, that even with Christianity, the so-called reformers, they're like, they always come after. People change their mind, people change their lives, and they're like, no, be more Christian, take it more seriously. And people are like, no, we have other things to do. Like, okay, let's pretend that they're taking Christianity seriously by coming up with a new version of Christianity, and be like, carry on, carry on the way you're living, because the way you're living is according to Christianity, right? So like, oh, look, we have so many Christian people that are living according to Christianity because you want to claim them as yours, right? So a lot of Muslims are better than Islam because they're living good lives and they're ignoring the commandments of Allah, and you want to claim them, so you just change the meaning of the word of Allah, and you fail at it miserably because it's pretty clear what Allah wants in many verses, and you're like, okay, these are our people because they're already living according to Islam, which they're not. Okay, does that make sense? Let me see what people are saying in the live chat. Ishak is saying, precise, they are the foundation of the book, and others unspecific. I don't know what that means. Guys, make sure you tag Atheist Republic if you want me to read something. All right, so wow, that took a huge detour in response to this one. Let's see how it continues. Okay. You know, I suspect that Yasmine and I agree. It's just that I think there's a semantics here, because I think she's referring to Muslim reformers rather than Islamic reform. Yeah, she is. Okay. So actually, I do appreciate Muslim reformers, even though I don't appreciate Islamic reform. Okay. Because there's only one problem I have with Muslim reformers. The fact that they call themselves Muslim reform, like they believe in Islamic reform. Other than that, most of them, if not all of them, are doing so much good. Okay? Because Muslim reformers, they are fighting for what? They're fighting for secularism, which is great, and I would work with them if they're fighting for secularism. They're fighting for women's rights, which is great, which I would love to work with them on that. They're fighting for democracy. They're fighting for peace. They're fighting for freedom of speech. And on those things, I am with them and I support them. And if they'll take me, I would be an ally with them and I would work with them. So I hate Islamic reform. I like most Muslim reformers. But what is it about the thing that Muslim reformers do that I do not support, that I do not like, is they give the credit to Islam for all that shit. Okay? I give the credit when they fight for women's rights, when they fight for democracy, when they fight for secularism. I give the credit to them for doing all those things, right? If I see a hijabi woman fighting for gay rights, a lot of people in the atheist movement like, oh, such a hypocrite, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, no, great, thank you so much. You're an activist. You're fighting for gay rights. Yeah, I disagree on Islam with you, but I can congratulate you on fighting for gay rights. I'm gonna support that woman. You're like, yeah, go, and I'm gonna, if they need my help, if I could do something, I would love to ally with them, right? I would. Just because I have a disagreement with them on the fact that this has nothing to do with Islam, doesn't mean I wouldn't work with them. Okay? I would point out that I think I have this disagreement with them, but that doesn't stop me from working with them. Okay? And if they're fighting for gay rights, why shouldn't we aid them? Okay? But I still have I could still work with them on fighting for gay rights and have a major disagreement with them on the fact that this has nothing to do with Islam, and also point out that I think them giving credit to Islam for gay rights is dangerous and destructive. I could point out to them in their face that I think giving credit to Islam for that is dangerous while working with them and fighting for gay rights. That's not a contradiction. Maybe they won't have me after I tell them that they're being destructive by giving credit to Islam. Maybe they're like, okay, I don't want to work with you. But if they will continue working with me, I would love to work with them. This is how you hate Islamic reform but love Muslim reformers, right? Because most Muslim reformers, there's only one disagreement I have with most of them, that Islam doesn't deserve any credit, and giving Islam credit for any of this is destructive, okay? That one disagreement, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate a whole bunch of other things that they're doing. Okay? And here's another thing about Muslim reformers that I appreciate compared to atheists who support Islamic reform. They're being honest, I think, most of them. Okay? If you're an actual Muslim reformer and you think this is I don't know how you could justify the fact that this is Islamic. I don't get it. You could try to change my mind. But if you actually believe that nonsense, you're not lying to people. Okay? The atheists that support Islamic reform, that's dishonest, okay? So, but, wait, be careful. I'm not saying Yasmine is dishonest, because I think I'm agreeing with Yasmine here. Because Yasmine is saying Muslim reformers, okay? She's not supporting Islamic reform, I think, okay? Because supporting Islamic reform is supporting Islam. Supporting Muslim reformers is not supporting Islam. Supporting Muslim reformers is recognizing that Muslim reformers have a lot to contribute other than Islamic reform. Right? It's not just Muslim reformers. I would ally with Muslim fundamentalists. Okay? If a Muslim fundamentalist is saying, like, we need to rally and bring attention to China's discrimination against Muslims, I'm gonna like, do you need any help on bringing attention to that? I can work with you on that. So I have a major disagreements with a Muslim fundamentalist. But if I am willing to work with Muslim fundamentalists, do you think I'm not gonna work with Muslim reformers that I have major disagreements with? Okay, we have some live chat here. Daniel saying the positive thing about Christian Reformation is it made possible for more people to read the Bible, and some of those people realize how stupid it is. Right, I agree. There are some indirect ways that the Christian Reformation led to the Enlightenment. So you could technically, in an indirect way, give the Christian Reformation some credit, but that was not the intention. Okay, the intention of Christian Reformation was not to lead to the Age of Enlightenment. There's another indirect way that the Christian Reformation led to the Age of Enlightenment, which was an attack on Christianity and organized religion, not a reformation of it. Another indirect way was the Christian Reformation made it popular to protest and stand up against authority. So, indirect ways. His Holiness is saying the problem with Islam is that it is considered as the last word of God, whereas Judaism and Christianity is open to interpretation. Well, a Muslim reformer would be like, well, we could reinterpret that part that says that it's the last word of God. I'm not saying, okay, so my argument is not that whether Islam could be reformed or not reformed. I'm saying it shouldn't be reformed. Just like you don't want it to be reformed, you want to get rid of it. It needs to die. If by reforming Islam you could keep it around longer, that's a problem. That's a destructive thing. That's just disguising a disease to be like, hey, this is not that bad. Look, and you just make it last longer. We want this thing gone. Okay? And by gone, I'm not just saying like ex-Muslims. Okay? I'm also talking about Muslims who are abandoning Islam but keeping the label. Okay? You have to see the fight against Islam is not just Muslim versus ex-Muslims. Okay? The battle is within every Muslim, okay? Every person, not just Muslims, is influenced by a whole different sources of influence. Not so a lot of people like think Muslims like what? You think Muslims are like robots that you just punch in the Quran code and they just follow it like? No, Muslims are influenced by religion, by the podcasts they listen to, by the movies they watch, by their parents, by their friends at school, YouTube videos they watch, books that they read. Okay, most of them is not Islamic. The battle that we have against Islam is to make that Islam influence in every Muslim a little bit less. And think about it: if the ex-Muslim movement has managed to win so many ex-Muslims. Think about how big of this. So we have like the way I look at it is three circles. The smallest circle of victory for us are the people who are abandoning their religion. It's huge, but it's the smallest circle. The much larger circle than that is a victory for us is the people that are still keeping their religion, but they are doubting a little bit. Okay, it's really hard for you to give all 100% of your life to God or religion if you are only 99% sure about it. Just a tiny little seed, just a tiny little doubt. Seed of doubt is enough. Even if you keep your religion for life, that tiny seed of doubt is going to make sure that you invest in this life. Okay? And then the third biggest circle are the people that are still 100% sure about their religion, but they have noticed our existence, and they see that we're not all assholes. Some of us are, but not all of us. And they decided that, you know what, I don't see ex-Muslims or atheists as evil like I used to see. And that's the biggest circle. And that's our biggest win. Let me see. Not just atheists and ex-Muslims who are keeping quiet. That biggest circle includes religious people saying ex-Muslims who attack Islam and accept it. And Christians who see people who attack Christianity and just accept that. Okay? I mean, we accept them with their holy books who condemn us to burning for eternity. We accept them as friends and neighbors with that. Is it too much to ask them to accept us while we shit on their religion? It's not too much to ask. Let me see. Okay. Ishaq is saying, you missed my post. Well, sorry, because you didn't tag Atheist Republic. My post is Quran verse that oppose Reformation. Yes, there's a Quran verse that oppose Reformation. I know. I just had to break it because of a character limit. King Saud University Quran. Yes. Good point. Yeah, okay, so there's another discussion to have about whether it's even possible to reform Islam. And I'm not having that discussion here, but it's true that the Quran has made it very, very difficult to reform Islam, relative to Christianity and Judaism. But my point is not whether it's possible to reform Islam or not. My point is that trying to reform Islam is just harmful. Okay? We're making progress on people abandoning the religion or ignoring the religion without reform. The reformers come after and claim the credit, okay? That's not, not on purpose, by the way. I'm not accusing them of that. Ishaq is saying you missed. Oh, I read that already. Okay. Oh, you reposted it. Okay, let's go to. Did I read number 2? Oh yeah, I did. Number 3. Yasmine continues. What gives me this impression is that I've lived in Muslim majority countries and attended and taught in Islamic schools. And in general, people want to be free. If Muslims are given the option between Sharia and freedom, they will overwhelmingly choose freedom. Totally agree. Because I have hope in Muslims. I do not have hope in Islam. Muslims change. Islam will always be toxic. Okay? Muslims change even if they remain Muslims. They could live better lives by living less according to Islam. Not by living according to a different Islam, by just being Muslim and living less according to Islam. You do that in 2 ways. You do that by attacking Islam, and you do that by giving other things to live for. That's not our job. That's the job of economic prosperity and jobs and stuff and better entertainment, alternatives to spirituality, music, art, dance. Okay? The more those alternatives exist, the more money people have to live a better life, the less they gonna need religion. On average, okay? No, you give me exception. No, Armin, look, that's not true. I have examples. I have anecdotes. In general, I'm talking, right? But the other part of that, throughout history, has been people like us who attack religion, like the Voltaires of the world. We need less Martin Luthers of the world. We need more Voltaires in this world, okay? Okay, that was... All right. Number 4. It's good that she numbered them, or else I would keep losing my track. The problem is that they don't have that choice today. So what we see happening today is the result of indoctrination from the media, from education system, and from the government. If there can be separation of mosque and state, things would be different. Well, I think they have that choice today. I mean, we're seeing progress everywhere. And yeah, they don't have enough choices today. And imagine how much of a difference we're making with such limited choices and such limited resources. Imagine how much more progress we would make once we, I mean, we're talking about amazing numbers of people abandoning religion. And again, I'm talking about that smallest circle, okay? In Saudi Arabia and Iran and Bangladesh and Egypt and Indonesia and Malaysia, numbers that we didn't even predict would grow this large 5 years ago. So if that smallest circle is so big, imagine what the 2 other circles look like. Yasmine then continues, the evidence of this is, look at Muslims in the West. They are by far more open-minded than Muslims in Muslim majority countries because they have the freedom to be more open-minded. Well, it's not just the freedom, because you don't really need freedom to be open-minded, because you could be open-minded in private. It's just that they're exposed, I think, to more of these options. And our job as activists is to expose people in Islamic countries as well. This is why, for example, Atheist Republic has a Persian channel and also an Arabic channel. And secular jihadists will eventually start translating their shows. We will translate shows once we can afford it, once we hit 500 patrons, right? And Atheist Republic also, we're going to go do Urdu, Indonesian. We need to reach, it's a matter of exposure, I think, more than freedom. I think, maybe I'm wrong. She says the indoctrination is at home, but not nearly as all-encompassing as under a Sharia government. Yeah, but it's harder to keep them in such a bubble with social media and stuff. Again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find ways to reach them. right? That's why a lot of atheists say like, "Oh, should we have more kids?" No, we don't need to have more kids. We need to reach out to their kids. Okay, we're coming after your kids. Okay, this is why I tell religious people, which makes them very angry and scared. Like, oh, we're coming after your kids, and we need to find a way to reach out to the kids. No government can stop us from that. I mean, I could tell you, I'm from Iran. I grew up in Iran. I also been to Islamic schools. Grew up most of my life under Islamic theocracy. And we are reaching Muslims in Iran and ex-Muslims and atheists. We're reaching those peoples, right? Those people, we're making shows for them, right? And it's not just on YouTube. Like when we make shows on YouTube, they get cut into small little pieces and posted on Telegram, which is a popular app in Iran. And it's like double-end encrypted, and no government can, that's why that app is very popular in Iran, is because it's double-end encrypted. Is that, I'm saying that right? And there's no government that could ever find out who they are unless they're being dumb about using their names on the app or stuff like that. But it's a very popular app there, and we don't just leave our shows on YouTube because some people might not know how to use, how to go around the firewalls and use YouTube. We make sure that we put it on these apps, which are popular. So there is a way. It's not the government, it's the exposure. And I mean, it makes it, yeah, it says the government because it makes it more difficult for us to reach them, but we don't have to wait for these governments to fall. We are reaching people. And if we had a little bit more resources, we would be even reaching more people. Think about it, like think about the difference we've made with what little, we have just like YouTube channels and stuff like, they have giant TV channels, they have oil money behind them. And we're going, like, we're like such tiny little nobodies going against countries, you know, budget of multiple countries combined, and we're winning. Imagine how much more we could win if we were just a little bit bigger. And a lot of this winning is because of people like Yasmine. Okay, so I would say that it's not the Muslim reformers that are making the difference, it's people that are like Yasmine that are making the difference. Okay, then she continues on number 6 is, and even under Sharia, look how the people of Saudi Arabia and Iran are pushing for progress despite the fact that they pay for it being imprisoned or killed. How can that not give you hope? Their bravery is so inspiring. Yes, and I can speak a little bit about what's happening in Iran, is that a lot of these people are sick and tired of Islam. So much. I could tell you in Iran, the number of people online that are against Islam, a lot of people think I'm an anti-religious extremist. I could tell you, man, the people in Iran that are tired of Islam, they think I'm a pacifist. I get so much attack from so many people in Iran have abandoned me because I am too mellow. I am not anti-Muslim. It's not enough for them that I'm anti-Islam. I have to be anti-Muslim. And they think like I'm too weak, I'm too passive, and they have, denounced me and like, yeah, this guy is a pussy. So, yeah, no, there's a major attack on Islam from Iran, okay? By millions, I tell you, okay? So, this attack on religion in Iran is creating the group of people that are taking Islam less seriously. But again, in Iran, the so-called reformers are coming up after. They're saying, oh my God, these people are abandoning Islam, so let's just give them another version of Islam. They come after. They don't come. It's never like, oh, here's the thing. Why would Islam ever change? Like Islam, when it's enjoying every power and people are abiding by the rules, they're never going to come and be like, hey, let's just change Islam to be more nicer. No, it's always a reaction to the people giving up on them. And it's a reaction to people giving up on them so that they could remain relevant. So why would we give them the excuse to remain relevant? If people are already abandoning religion, It's already happening. If they're taking Islam less seriously, that's already happening without their reformist excuse. So if you just take the excuse away and not reform Islam, it would be faster. The abandonment and the ignoring would be faster because they have no excuse. Yeah, we have shitty religion. But by giving credit to the to Islamic reform, a lot of people that might have completely left will be like, okay, I guess there's another version. These are people that here's the thing. They are the people that Muslim reformers attract are people that were already like, okay, I don't want to beat my wife. Okay? I'm not going to beat my wife. I'm not going to go kill people. I don't agree that you should cut someone's hands off because of small, like stealing something small. Like, what the hell is that? That's barbaric, right? So they're like looking at then the reformers are like, oh, okay, don't worry. There's a different version. Here's Islam is like this. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess I guess Islam, this is true Islam, okay? But they were already good people. They were already good people, and now you're claiming them as reformers. They were not going to go, all of a sudden go Allahu Akbar on someone just because somebody didn't come in with a new interpretation. Somebody that doesn't want to go blow up people in a crowd is not going to be like, if they don't find a Muslim reformer that convinces them that Islam is not like this, they're good people. They're not just going to go blow up themselves up. It was the other way around. They were good people, so they're better than Islam. And now you're giving them an excuse to stay in Islam. A lot of them would have been completely abandoning Islam maybe if you didn't give them an excuse. A lot of them would stay because they're nominal Muslims. They don't even think about these things. But a lot of them would abandon. And those people that we're losing to reform instead of abandoning Islam, these numbers is giving authority and legitimacy to Islam. We don't want to give authority and legitimacy to Islam. Okay, this is getting longer than I thought. Sorry. Let me see the live chat. Did I miss? Sijan is saying, do you think Imam Tawhidi will be able to change the mind of Muslims and not Islam? Since, as you say, it's very difficult. Oh my God, that's another whole hour of discussion. To go, Imam Tawhidi is a different kind of reformer. Imam Tawhidi is, that would be a whole topic. I would love to have Imam Tawhidi back on Atheist Republic to talk to him about that. But I discussed this with it. By the way, if you just search Armin Navabi versus Imam Tawhidi, I already had this discussion with him. Sijan is saying, Armin, if we give back the Shah title back, guys, keep the discussion on the topic that we're talking about. We're not talking about Shah right now. Okay, Yasmine is saying, of course there is the problem that the doctrine are still there, right? So people could gravitate towards them, right? Yes, they could, but why would they want to? This is why most Jews are not Hasidic and most Christians are not fundamentalists. It's a difficult and terrible existence. Well, yeah, because Muslims are better than Islam, just like Christians are better than Christianity, just like Jewish people, especially Jewish people, are better than Judaism. This is not... Yeah, they wouldn't go back to it, but it wasn't Muslim reformers that took them away from Islam to begin with. Number 8. Okay, so in closing, I support Muslims and people of any faith who support progress and enlightenment values over religion. Yes, I do too. I agree. I support Muslims. I have a lot of hope for Muslims, and I think even Muslims who are not leaving Islam, most of them are moving in the right direction. And all of that is true, and I completely agree with Yasmine. The only disagreement that I have is that all of that is happening with zero thanks to Islamic reform. Again, I'm not going to say zero thanks to Muslim reformers, because Muslim reformers do a lot more than just giving credit to Islam, and they do a lot, right? So, for example, Majid Nawaz, right? Majid Nawaz, the case that he won, I supported the case that he won. I donated to the case that he won against Southern Poverty Law Center, right? That was a win. That was not a win for Majid Nawaz. That was a win for all of us. Majid Nawaz went to battle, and he made a win for all of us. Okay, that was a win for freedom of expression. Okay, so there's many other examples that you could come up with for these reformers that are doing a lot of good things. So I have to say, correct, if I misspoke, if I use these things interchangeably, it was wrong. I should always say it's no thanks to Islamic reform. I shouldn't say it's no thanks to Muslim reformers, because Muslim reformers do support secularism, and that specific activism is very helpful. But their Islamic reform part of their activism is not only helpful, but is harmful. But again, that's not it's harmful, but that is nothing. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't support them, and that doesn't mean that we should look them as harmful people, because I'm pretty sure in my activism, not everything I do is helpful. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing that is harmful, but it's impossible for everything that I'm doing to be helpful. I must be doing some harmful things as well, and I hope somebody convinces me which one of those things that I'm doing is harmful, so I stop doing them. But no activist is doing 100% helpful thing. So again, if I say they're doing something harmful, it might come off as something negative against them personally. It's not. It's not. Okay? We're all doing something harmful. Okay? We're all doing something harmful because none of us is perfect. And again, this is just my opinion that that's what they're doing is harmful. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Islamic reform is helpful, but it's not. Yasmine is saying, so in closing, oh yeah, I read that part. I've made the parallel to, did I read that part? Yes, I did. I've made the parallel to gun reform just because it is highly unlikely. Doesn't mean we should stop trying. You may see me as hopeless optimist, but so be it. No, that's not a hopeless optimist. Your hope is, according to data, is true. Okay, what the progress that Yasmine is pointing out to is real, and and I have the same hope. I just don't give credit. I just give the credit to other sources than Islamic reform. That's the only disagreement. But this is great. I mean, Yasmine is great. Just because I have a disagreement with her, that doesn't mean that I don't. I mean, she's so great that she is doing activism that is better than Islamic reform. Okay, Yasmine Mohammed is a better source for fighting against all this nonsense than Islamic reform. Okay, I hope I made sense. Let me know if I did. Thank you, Susanna, for telling people to tag Atheist Republic if they want their comments to be read. His Holiness is saying you have to take baby steps with the deconversion and work from there. It's a real sudden change someone's mind. God damn it. You guys, His Holiness, you haven't consumed my content. It's not a baby step. Islamic reform is not a baby step for progress. It's a step in the wrong direction, okay? It's not a slow progress, okay? It's making Islam last, okay? It's lying to people about what the true nature of their religion. It's not a baby step to progress. How is it a progress if you tell people that a verse that means something, it means something else? A religion that is dying, Islamic reform is helping it last longer. How is that a baby step to progress? I never said, okay, a lot of people tell me like, oh, Armin, you think people could become atheists overnight? Or all Muslims are going to give up on religion? 2 billion people are just going to give up on their religion? No! That's not the alternative to Islamic reform. I believe in baby steps. The baby step that is intellectually honest, and it also is an actual progress, not a baby step in the wrong direction. The baby step that I advocate for is doubt. Doubt. Okay? You don't have to. If you get a Muslim to go to like, yeah, God is real and Islam is the true religion, if you could go from there to somebody saying like, well, there is a small chance that I might be wrong, I don't know everything, that is progress. That's a baby step. Even small, you want smaller baby step than that? Here's a smaller baby step than that. Even if you take a Muslim that is 100% certain about Islam, to go to that from being 100% certain and saying everything else is evil to being still 100% certain about Islam, but saying, okay, I see the point atheists are trying to make. I still disagree with them, but I see why somebody would be an atheist. Or saying, like, I guess all atheists are not demonic, terrorists or whatever. They call us terrorists. But, and I guess some of them are good people. They're misguided because they don't believe in Islam, but some of them are good people. And I guess even they can attack your religion, they can criticize my religion just the way I criticize their views is fine. That's progress. That's a baby step. Here's baby step. You don't have to lie to people for baby steps, okay? Next one is Ishaq is saying, let's say the cost of raising a kid is 18 years. The cost of stealing a kid is less than 18 years, maybe less than 5 years. Yes, exactly. We're going to steal their kids. Not literally, YouTube. Please don't strike this channel. Ishaq is saying, the same point. Weirdo, I don't know, is saying, would you advertise for defending Europe? They have good cause. No, that's not relevant to this topic, I think. Let's focus on something. Susanna is saying, Armin, remind people to like and subscribe! Like and subscribe! And hit the bell button. Thank you, Susanna. These are the rules of YouTube. I have to tell you this because apparently people don't do it if I don't remind them. It's okay, I don't remember things either. But rules of YouTube, I'm not a good YouTuber. If I was a good YouTuber, I wouldn't need Susanna to remind me. I have to tell you guys, like, subscribe, comment, or dislike. That's okay as well. Dislike. Tell me how stupid I am in the comment section. Tell me why I'm wrong. And all that. Comment, share as well. Thank you, Susanna. I don't know what I would do without you. His Holiness is saying, just talking about the reality of history. I told you the reality of history. The reality of history is on our side. The reality of history is that progress has been made by people who attacked and questioned dogma, not by people that try to come up with a different package of it. I'm weirdo, I don't know. I'm not doing the white nationalist one because it's not relevant to the topic of this discussion. I might do come back during the Q&As that I'm doing, like ask me anything, and I will do it then. I might do another video on Majid's response to Yasmine. So Majid responded to this. Look, it's very long. I haven't read it yet, but if you want me to respond to this, I'll do another video. Tell me in the comment section if that's a good idea, or if you guys want me to do respond to an analysis in this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being in the live chat, keeping me company. This is my social life, not just now, not just because of the coronavirus thing. This is my social life always, okay? You guys are the friends that I don't have in real life. I don't have a social life, okay? So a lot of people are trying to get used to this new lifestyle. For me, this has always been like this. Anyways, see you guys soon. Matt is saying yes, it's a good idea. All right, but once the live stream is over, comment. This is an excuse for you to tell me it's a good idea or not by commenting, so that it just fires up the YouTube's algorithms, and YouTube like, oh my God, so many people are commenting. This must be a good video. Let me suggest it to other people. All right, bye guys.